Well, the Astros went out west and they swept the Dodgers. They continue their dominance of Los Angeles. And Jose Altuve heard loud boos. Christian Walker owns Dodger Stadium. Let's talk about this and some all-stars that got recognized.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talks Astros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Astros411 on X and on Facebook. They can find me at Wheelhouse Media Company on YouTube and iHeartRadio. Look wherever you get your podcasts. I'm always positive, always Stros.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go ahead and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go ahead and check us out. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So, Brett, I know the Astros took care of business. I would have been happy with winning the series, but the fact that they actually swept the Dodgers and you heard all the crying across the Dodger land, and there's some Dodgers fans out there that I know that they're respecting the Astros, but you heard a lot about cheating and everything, but the Astros went to town and they took care of business. How many runs did the Astros score? How many runs did the Dodgers score? We'll talk about that. What did Shohei Ohtani do? And then Walker, Christian Walker. This is a guy that Astros fans have been ragging on all year. He was a Dodger killer and all-star Stros. Who's going to the all-star game? These are just some of the topics that we'll be discussing on today's Locked On Astros podcast. But Brett, a sweep? How sweep it is? I mean, this is great.
This was glorious. And, I jumped on Friday night after the 18-1 shellacking. And the next day I was like, I really hope they don't poo-poo the bed on national TV and, not do well. And they performed really well on national TV. And then they came back today and they won again today, Eric. It was absolutely phenomenal to see what this team can do. I mean, they're averaging, I think, like 3.4 runs or something like that. They're averaging under 5 runs a game. I think they're up to 4.4 runs a game, but we know that they've scored 3 runs or less more than they've not scored 3 runs or less. And this is an absolute it was really kind of a bloodbath when you look at the run total, when you look at who the Astros threw. And then you heard all the excuses from Dodgers fans. Well, we got a lot of injuries. And I'm like, your entire offensive lineup is healthy. Like, you had all the major guys in there and they got stymied by pitchers, like by not all of our best pitchers, it was great to see the bullpen.
Ryan Gusto is not the Astros' best pitcher?
Yeah, but Ryan Gusto only needed 1 strikeout too. Against
Lance
this
McCullers is not the Astros ace.
Ryan Gusto, actually, that was his first start since I believe June 22nd.
Yeah, he did pretty good. We'll go and talk about that, but let's just focus on what the Astros are doing. 29-6. That's not a football score. That's what the Astros did. They scored 29 runs and they limited the Dodgers to only 6 runs in this entire series. Granted, I know 18 of those runs were all in one game, and then the rest of them the other 11 were in the last 2 games. But still, that's a lot of runs against the probably arguably the best team in baseball. And you go to LA and do this in front of their fans with the booing every time Jose Altuve comes up. You hear the boo birds and everything. And it's just amazing what the Houston Astros can do. And the biggest thing, we'll go and continue talking about this, but they limited the best player in baseball, Shohei Ohtani, to 1-11 with only 2 walks, no runs, no RBIs. This guy is a game changer, and you can hold the Dodgers down if you don't let this guy get on base.
Yeah, look, I mean, you know, there's a lot of respect and accolades that goes into someone like Shohei Ohtani having him. I mean, but him being on the mound right now at this point in his career, I've heard the Dodgers aren't even going to have him pitch an entire game until next season, which is mind-boggling to me. And how odd was it for Ken Rosenthal? The first question he asked Joe Espada was, "Oh, what do you think about Shohei Ohtani?" What? Hell, come on, man. Dude was glazing Ohtani on national TV. But, like, why don't you say, you know what, Joe Espada, this is a question I would have asked. Joe Espada, y'all scored 18 runs on the Dodgers last night. That's never been done, a win that big in Dodger Stadium. How do you come into the ballpark today, and how do you keep your guys grounded and focus on today and not worry about last night? That's what you ask a manager who shellacks a team, not, what do you think about Shohei Ohtani? He really got you on your heels. Or like, come on,
it's
man.
The Dodgers, Brett. Don't you understand that? National media.
I know.
Darlings of baseball.
They're the deferred darlings of baseball. That's right. And they may be one of the main reasons why we have a massive lockout next year. But, dude, Houston Astros came in and took care of business. Lance McCullers deserves flowers, bro. He dealt. And he even freaky hacky sacked a line drive off his heel to get an out when they got the line drive, but, hit off his heel, went into the glove of the guy behind him. Just so many great things happened over this series.
Yeah, and I was a little bit worried about that at the time, because I was like, we already lost Pena for an undisclosed time. We'll talk about Jake Myers in a little bit, what's going on with him. But the fact that he was able to stay in, and not only stay in, but pitch effectively for 6 innings in that game. And a lot of time pitchers, they kind of lose focus. When you have your offense scoring all those runs, it's hard to maintain that focus. And that's what Lance McCullers was able to do in that game. And I know you talked about it that night after the podcast. So right. I don't want to go too much into what McCullers did that game, but what the Astros have done in the past 24 games. They have won 19 of those games. 19 out of 24. They're one of the best teams in baseball. They are 20 games over 500 for the first time this year. They are 55-35. Brett, I just can't even put that in my head. Remember all those tennis matches back earlier in the season? They win, they lose. They win 2, they lose 2.
Well, and when you think about, they have a 6-man rotation on the IL. They have their best left-handed hitter, Yordan Alvarez, on the IL. Jeremy Pena on the IL. I mean, you got Trammell. You got Trammell making diving catches in center field. You got Zach Short, my player of the game today. Zach Short, really, like, this guy contributed all series. And then you have Yainer Diaz picking it up. You have Christian Walker picking it up. You have all these. You have Victor Caratini hitting 2 grand slams in a week's time. I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing to see how a clubhouse culture and a belief in coming to the ballpark, knowing that they are going to win today, how that changes everything. Because hard work beats talent anytime it outworks that talent. And that's what this team has not fielded the most talented team, but it's fielded the team that at its best and at its most has defeated every one of the first place opponents they have. Eric, they're now 14-2 versus first place teams in 2025.
Well, yes, that's all great, Brett, but just think about it. The Phillies, the Cubs, the Dodgers, they were 8-1 against those teams. And the only loss is a 1-0 victory for the Cubs in that time span. So it's just crazy how these are all like, oh, if we get maybe 2 wins, that'll be great. If we get 1 win, it'll be great. These are all great teams. But the Astros are just doing what they're supposed to be doing. And we're going to go and continue this conversation. Guys, we got 400 live listens right now. Thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast, your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to us. Go make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out. So we're going to talk about Jake Myers, what's going on with him, and Christian Walker. What did Christian Walker do in this series? And Jose Altuve, is he still a GOAT? We'll talk about that next.
Everybody, welcome to the show. Thank y'all for listening. This is your first time. I want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Monarch Money. Go to monarchmoney.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 50% off your first year. If managing your money is not the easiest, you got to plan the big purchase. You got to save. You're growing investments. Monarch Money puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track investments, spending, so on and so forth. It doesn't matter what it is you're tracking, whether you and your partner are tracking accounts that are joint accounts or accounts that are separate, you can keep up with that. And you no longer have to wonder where all the money's going. You see it. Yes, you know you're buying jerseys. You know you're buying game tickets. But Monarch Money helps you to keep the surprise out of spending. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money today. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. A whole year, 50% off. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Don't just save, build wealth.
Hey, y'all. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make this first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check us out. If you can't get enough Astros talk, go and check out Michael Connor, the Locked On Astros podcast right now, or I guess right after games. But it's just amazing what the Astros are doing. They're losing players. Jeremy Pena, we don't know. I know Dana Brown said that there's a outside chance that he's back before the All-Star break. We'll talk about the All-Star game a little bit later. But I think if you read between the line, if you kind of think about the history of what's going on with Jeremy Pena, I doubt we see him back before the All-Star break. But I know when Zach Short came up, I said, this is going to be the World Series hero, and this is going to be the guy that gets Astros to the World Series. I was doing it as kind of a joke. But so far, this guy has delivered in the short amount of playing time with the Houston Astros. Is this a guy that they're going to count on all season? Probably not, but you have to have that next man up mentality. And today, it was Zach Short with the bases loaded walk to give them the lead. Then he had the back-to-back home runs by Christian Walker and then Yainer Diaz. Then, of course, you have Jose Altuve with another home run, his third home run of the series, with the whole stadium basically booing against the Houston, not just the Houston Astros, but specifically Altuve. So what Altuve is able to do, he's able to harness all that energy and put it into the bat, right, Brett?
Did you hear what? So Ken Rosenthal asked him about this after the game. And he didn't even answer the question. He completely skirted around the question. He talked about how he comes out every day and his goal is just to play and be the best player for his team. And he just wants to go out here and get a win. Didn't even answer the question. Didn't even buy into it. I mean, he's sitting there signing autographs for Dodgers fans, and all the Dodgers fans who hate him and boo him. They're like, can we have your autograph? Yeah. I go back to my guy, JC. I asked him, who is the one Houston Astro you would want on the New York Yankees? Every time, Jose Altuve. He is one of the greatest players to ever step on the field, not only because he does what he does at his stature, at his size, but because he doesn't allow the boos. And actually, Robert Ford on the radio broadcast said, boo louder. He literally said that as they kept booing and booing after he hit his 16th home run on the season. Eric, he's getting a lot more lift on the ball. I absolutely love it. And what is just funny to me is there's very few Dodgers fans that I interact with. A couple of them are pretty reasonable. I actually had some coming to my DMs on TikTok, someone on X, and like, hey man, that was a respectable win. Like, you guys swept us. That's crazy. But there are so many of them that they won't even talk about 24. They want to talk about 17. And I proposed this to Major League Baseball on the 10th year of 2017 in 2027. Can we have the Dodgers scheduled to play in Houston that year? Because I want to do the 10th year anniversary of the 2017 World Series with the Dodgers in town. I need a Marwin Gonzalez bobblehead. I need a Charlie Morton, or I need a bobblehead where like Brian McCann is holding up Charlie Morton. You know, I mean, yeah. I need that kind of trolling from the Astros promotions department. But this offense, to get on a more serious topic, Christian Walker, I've heard that Major League Baseball is considering renaming Dodger Stadium to Christian Walker Field at Dodger Stadium. That's what I heard, because he absolutely, and he's now a
what about Skywalker Stadium.
Skywalker Stadium. Well, he is the 30% owner now of Dodger Stadium. He's taken part of Magic Johnson's stake in the company. But dude, okay, Eric, not only to sweep the Dodgers, okay, but to score that many runs in LA. I mean, I honestly, that's the largest defeat that they've ever, the largest defeat ever in Dodger Stadium history. Christian Walker, the first major league player to hit 6 home runs in 6 straight games at Dodger Stadium. Not even a Dodger has done that.
Right. Well, if you think about it, 7 out of 8 games.
Yeah, 7 out of, yes, because he hit another one. Oh, and Eric, did you see the crowd that wasn't there today? It was an empty stadium. The whole upper deck was empty in Dodger Stadium. Yeah, I was paying attention. I was like, oh, what's the matter? Some fair weather Dodger fans. Maybe they're front runners.
I don't know. Maybe there's something going on in LA. Maybe it was a beach day. Maybe they'd rather do that.
Eric, no.
Maybe they'd rather go do that than watch the Astros.
No, we're not giving them a pass.
Lose against the Astros again.
We're not making excuses. These are guys that make jerseys for their children and dress them up in trash cans to look like Altuve. These are dedicated trollers and haters. Where were you guys today? Where were y'all?
Yeah. So Christian Walker has 21 career home runs at Dodger stadiums, all since the start of 2018. That's 9 more than anyone else as a visitor there in that span. He also has 8 straight games with the RBI at Dodger Stadium. So what he's doing, he is a Dodger killer. So if the Astros do play the Dodgers in the World Series, Astros fans are going to be thanking the fact that they have Christian Walker on the team, because I know he didn't get off to the best start to the season, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And he looks like he's starting to get into the flow of things. And so if he becomes this guy that the Astros can count on down the stretch, and then you get Alvarez back, maybe the Astros trade for somebody at the trade deadline, now you have a team that could compete. You're already a game and a half behind the Tigers, and you're not that far back from the Dodgers for the best overall record. So the Astros have come a long way from where they were. And so it's just a matter of playing consistent baseball like they've been doing, and just continuing to John Smoltz, I think, put it on there that the Astros are good at preventative baseball. They're good at stranding runners. They're good at limiting the opposing offense. But I don't want to focus too much on the cheating stuff, because Orel Hershiser made a big deal about it this weekend, and it's like the Astros knew what was coming. I think he knew what he was trying to say was that it seems like the Astros just can't miss right now. But of course, Dodgers took it one way, Astros fans took it the same way, basically. But it's an old story. I'm tired of it. And
it is. Well, here's my response to Orel Hershiser, former big league pitcher. I'm sorry, shame on you, Orel. I'll say, and I hope this gets back to him. You're a former major league player. How dare you bring that crap up, placating and freaking like just what do you call it? Pandering to your crowd. Okay. Right. They're not. Okay. Well, look, if you think we know what pitch is coming, how about we just knew what pitch to throw? And how about, you know what, this team can actually play some damn good baseball. How about that? How about that being a part of the equation? Yeah, like cry me a river. You know what? You know what, though? You know what champions do? They focus on themselves. Losers focus on others.
Hey, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. Brett, I know that you already did this, but I want to take a second to really send some prayers out to all the lives lost in the Central Texas flooding. I believe it's up to almost it's 50 to 70 lives lost, including about I think 30 kids.
Yeah, you know, last I saw 57 confirmed, then there's still like 11 or 12 missing. No, definitely for everyone in Kerrville, Central Texas, you know, those, and that water doesn't just stop. It continued to move. And we saw flooding kind of like that in Harvey. And well, I guess a lot of areas saw stuff like that, but they've never seen this before. So yeah, definitely thoughts and prayers continue to go out to those in Central Texas that are affected. The loss of life is just absolutely horrific to think about. And so,
since you put this up here, let's go ahead and go ahead and demonstrate what you put.
Oh yeah. So right here, Christian Walker, this was going into today's game. Okay. This is from my media notes. In the current series going into today, he was 5 for 9 with the home run, 5 RBIs. And then look at this at Chavez Ravine. He's hitting 471 again before Sunday's game, 8 home runs, 16 RBI. At Dodger Stadium, he has the highest OPS all time, even higher than Shohei Ohtani. Now he's got a little bit larger sample size. Home runs by active player, he went ahead of Paul Goldschmidt. He has the most home runs in Dodger Stadium, and his 789 career slug at Dodger Stadium is also highest in Major League history. So Dodgers commentators, even some of the Locked On Dodgers people said, hey, you know, we were glad when he got traded out of the division, but when he came back, we were like, oh no, here comes Christian Walker. The Astros have players like that we play against, but apparently Christian Walker's that guy. And I need a LA Dodgers, Houston Astros World Series rematch in 2025. I need that so bad.
I know Yainer Diaz has not had his best season this year, but he showed the home run power in this series with back-to-back games. Then you had Jose Altuve with 3 home runs. Yeah. So the offense, they didn't score as many runs, of course, as they did in the first game, but they scored just enough runs, 6 runs in game 2. And how many runs they scored? 5 runs in today's game. And most of those runs in today's game were from home runs. You had the 3 home runs. And so it just seems like the Astros just get enough to win, whatever it takes for that day. If Framber Valdez is not having the best game, he gives up 4 runs, they get enough runs to, I think they won that game 6-4. So it just seems like they're clicking. Like when they need to pitch well, like today, they pitch well. I know the offense scored late, but it was a 2-1 game for most of the time. But Ryan Gusto, this is a guy that wasn't really expected to be back in the rotation this soon, but you're dealing with a lot of games. You don't want to really push Lance McCullers too much. You want to give these guys a rest, even with All-Star break coming. And Gusto came in today. He got his 6th win of the season, 6 innings, only 4 hits allowed, 1 run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. And this is against a Dodgers lineup. This is one of the most expensive lineups in baseball. And you have Ryan Gusto going out there and limiting them to just 1 run.
Look, that is, I think, the most amazing part of it is the way that they've stymied this offense. I mean, the Dodgers scored 200 runs more. The Dodgers have scored 500 runs this year. The Astros haven't even scored 300 runs, right? So, I mean, you have the tale of 2 offenses. The bottom line is you have a team that goes out and they know exactly what the job is. They don't care about expectations. They don't care about what you think about them. They don't care about what is expected of them. They go out and they take care of business, period, end of story. That's what it's all about. The Tigers play a different brand of the Astros play a different brand of baseball. It's going to be, dude, the Tigers are red hot right now. The Blue Jays are red hot right now. I mean, you got
the Mariners are having to be red hot because they're trying to keep up with 7 games behind.
They are. And shoot, Cal Riley's got 33 or 34 home runs. I mean, look, I'm not worried about it though, Eric. I really think the Astros, to me right now, if you were to say who's the favorite, I think the Astros are the favorite to come out of the AL. Why? Because they have players that are on the shelf that aren't even contributing right now. When you have a guy like Zach Short and Trammell and other guys coming in helping this team, I mean, what can you say? It's next man up mentality, and nobody does it better than the Houston Astros.
Yeah, and I know that everybody's been worried about the All-Star game, and the Astros don't have any starters in the All-Star game. It's okay. It's all about how you finish the season. We don't really care about the All-Star game, as apparent by the fact that not a lot of Astros players play in the All-Star game, even if they're selected. I know that one of the players that's going to be in the All-Star game, he's not going to play for one reason, but the Astros have, as of right now, let me just keep that in mind, as of right now, the Astros have 3 All-Stars. It is Hunter Brown, which was obvious, Josh Hader, which is obvious, and then also you have Jeremy Pena, which is obvious. So
I think Framber got snubbed. I think Framber got snubbed. I think Brian Abreu got snubbed. I think Isak Paredes got snubbed. The problem with the All-Star game is everybody can't make it, Yeah. So
I think the players, the fans did a better job, even though they didn't really vote the Astros in. That's okay. But I love the fact that the Tigers fans have really come out for their players, and that's fine. But I think that you're going to have one of the starting pitchers probably pitch right before the All-Star game, and then they can't pitch, so they'll go ahead and have another pitcher added or two. And I think that's how Framber Valdez will probably make the All-Star game. I don't think he'll pitch in the game. I think that they'll kind of save him. But my question for you, Brett, is Hunter Brown the starter? Because he finished 4th in terms of by the players, in terms of votes for the pitcher.
I don't see how he's 4th. First of all, I think if he's wearing another uniform, he gets a higher vote, even from the players. I mean, is this ultimately the manager's decision?
Yeah, it is the manager's decision who pitches.
I think Hunter Brown deserves it. I think it should be Hunter Brown's. If it's not Hunter Brown for the AL, it's Tarek Skubal. If it's neither one of those two guys, then both guys need to be apologized to, because it shouldn't be anybody else. There's nobody else. Now, if he can't go and he needs a replacement, put Framber Valdez in. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Hunter Brown, I think, should be the All-Star game starter. It's his first All-Star nod. He was a Futures game guy, so that's a cool thing. And hey, in the next week or so, we need to talk about the Astros draft, because there's a pretty popular name with the Texas A&M Aggies that may fall to number 21. The Astros have a chance to possibly get a pretty good power hitter if they're lucky.
Yeah, there's some actual good outfielders that have been snubbed. Julio Rodriguez is not having his best season, but the players nominated him to the All-Star game over other players that are having good seasons. Like Joe Adell is one. He has a 800 OPS. There's another player I can't think off on top of my head.
Yeah, Joe Adell's really come on, hasn't he? I mean, Joe Adell's becoming the player that he was supposed to be when he first came up.
Right. So I don't know if they're ever going to change things, but I think for the most part, there's always going to be snubs. There's always going to be players that don't play because of a mysterious injury or something like that. But I'm happy with what we got. Jeremy Pena is not going to play. That's fine. I know that I kind of briefly talked about that. We talked about Jake Myers as well before the end of the show. But Jeremy Pena said that he's doing a little bit better, but he's not expecting to play before the All-Star game. He would like to play. It would be an honor to play, but he said when you're a kid, you just dream about getting to the big leagues. Then when you get older, kind of when it's in your grasp, it's like, okay, if I do this, take all the right steps, and maybe you could put yourself in a position, and here I am going to the All-Star game. And so this is awesome. Just keep in mind, he grew up looking up to his father. And so now he gets to say, hey, I'm an all-star. And that also means, hey, I get paid a little bit more money, because having that title all-star gets a little bit to your name. Hunter Brown also, this is his first time as an all-star, and this is sixth time for Josh Hader. So
Josh Hader, 25 for 25, Eric. I mean, saves. I mean,
Roldis Chapman got the reliever of the first half, apparently.
Oh, wait, there's the first half. Hold on.
Elected by the players.
Wait, they really?
Yeah. So this is a popularity vote because he pitches for the Red Sox, I guess. I don't know.
Well, yeah. You know what? You can piss me off. You're going to have to go another 40 minutes to talk about that. But hey, get this. For any UTSA fans, Michael Carrera tells us that Pat Hallmark will be throwing out the first pitch tomorrow night at Daikin Park. He is the UTSA head baseball coach who nearly they broke the hearts of the Longhorns. They nearly made it to the College World Series, and they actually brought him back to manage there. So that's good.
Okay, Brett, you might want to mute yourself and put a piece of paper over your face so fans don't see your reaction to Jake Myers news. Okay, I'm going to read the quotes. Okay, so mute yourself. Okay, so Jake Myers was taken out of the game with apparently his right calf tightened up during the game, and the Astros took him out to be cautious.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me like it was an actual like something torn or something.
No, I thought you were going to go cautious. That means he's out for the rest of the season.
No. Oh no. I was expecting you to drop a bombshell on me there, man. Someone said leg cramp. Yeah, he needs to drink more pickle juice.
Yeah, I don't know. They haven't really given too much detail other than they took him out for just to be precautious. But
yeah, there's no need to keep him, man. When you're kicking that, you know what, belt to when you kick. Hey, man, Houston is inevitable. They hate us because they ain't us, right?
Yeah. So the Astros are just doing great. They're playing great baseball against a great team. The Dodgers, despite what the Astros did to them, they're a good team. And their Astros are making good teams like the Cubs, the Phillies. And don't forget, when the Astros were having the tennis match back and forth, they were playing great teams. Like the Mets and the Yankees. And
they're 14-2 versus first place teams. I mean, it's not like they're getting fluke wins, and really they're on pace now to win 97 or 98 games, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. And also we do need to say welcome back, Hector Neris, for the third time. He's like,
I can't wait till
I'm going to go try out another team. I'm going to just go try it. And then once my 90-day warranty expires, I'm going to go back to the Houston Astros.
I need some Hector Neris versus the Mariners. That's what I need. I inject that into my veins.
So I think this was more for his leadership. I know he's not having best season, and he's been on two teams this year. But when Hector Neris is with the Houston Astros, he somehow becomes a different pitcher. And so hopefully once the injuries come, when injured players come back, maybe he's not that big of a need. But at this time, the Astros just need him right now. So down the road, once all these arms like Christian Javier and all these arms that are supposedly coming back from their rehab get back, maybe you might not have to rely on him. But right now, I'm enjoying, Brett, watching this Houston Astros team. They should not be doing what they're doing.
Look, and I'm saying this. I know we've got a little long, but we've got over 600 people watching. So why not entertain the folks? Are you not entertained? No, anyways. But this team with what they are doing and the possibilities. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but if the second half of the season includes mostly opponents that are under 500, and the Astros have done well against teams that are bad, we are probably watching one of the best seasons that we're ever going to see in Astros history. If everything continues to go well, and I'm not saying it has to be perfect, but everything has to keep going the way it's going. They're really, really good. They've gotten lucky a couple times, but baseball also involves a little bit of luck. Sometimes you need that ball to bounce over the wall, or you need some errors like you had during this series against the Dodgers. Things just keep going their way, and despite what man goes down, they keep rolling. How many franchises have lost as many names as they have and still continued to be relevant? Right. So it is character on display, and it is how just about every team in the league, except maybe a couple, are like, wow, I wish we had that going on here.
And I do want to address this. The Dodgers are mad about the Astros sweeping them, but they did not steal my bobbleheads. I just want to make that to be clear. I'm actually packing to move. We're moving on Thursday. So the bobbleheads were not stolen. They're just packed. My wife actually rearranged this a little bit to kind of make it look like I have something behind me. But the Dodgers did not steal my bobbleheads. But I'm excited to see what happens against the Guardians. They come in with a 10-game losing streak. And so that could be good. That could also be bad, because typically they don't want to go too deep into a losing streak, and they could be playing good baseball. So we'll have to see what happens there. But guys, anything else you want to talk about before we end?
I just think that this is a good question. How much credit should Espada be given for this great run? I mean, he obviously has a lot to do with it. And I know he doesn't play on the field, but, keeping things together, Eric, keeping players' heads in the game, not, guys not getting discouraged, telling, guys, we're going to shuffle the lineup. We're going to put you in this position. Hey, we need you to pitch today. Hey, I'm going to pull you because I'm going to put this guy in. All those moves says a lot about Joe Espada. I think the only thing that would keep Espada from winning it is because, well, the Astros, they have been successful. But then again, maybe they've had enough bumps in the road last year in the beginning of the year. They go, okay, Joe Espada, he deserves his flowers too. He definitely better have some first place votes at the end of the season. If he doesn't win it, he needs to have some people feel like he did, because I think him and Hinch, I think it's a two-horse race, unless the Blue Jays manager comes into the conversation, because they now lead the East. And if the Yankees end up getting knocked out of the playoffs and it's the Blue Jays and they reign supreme in the East, that Blue Jays manager is also going to get some consideration as well.
Yes. So the Astros have a 55-35 record. The Guardians now, after a 10-game losing streak, they are now 40-48 and have dropped all the way down to fourth. I mean, this was a team that was kind of fighting with the Twins for a long while, but that's just how baseball is. You can never just predict or just ask the Mariners. They get off to these hot starts, then they kind of fall apart. So baseball is going to baseball. That's why you can't get too frustrated with bad starts to the start of season. Last year is a perfect example. But tomorrow it's going to be Colton Gordon versus Tanner Bibby. So we'll see what happens. A couple of 4.0 ERAs. I know that's not exactly, but 4-something ERAs going against each other. I know Bibby is the veteran there, but Colton Gordon has been pitching a lot better recently. And so we'll see if the Astros can maintain what they've been doing. And I think that this is I'm not going to say a sweep, but just keep on getting series wins. And that's what you got to do to continue the forward progress. But any closing thoughts?
David says time for some tacos from Taqueria Arandas. That sounds good.
Okay. All right, guys, that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey, and you can go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check us out, and we will see you and rock out tomorrow. And go Astros.
Hey, that's my line. Go Astros.